Let's get to the nitty-gritty.
Sure.
A lot of people have emailed me and asked Mark Rauterkus, they see your blog. They see you have a lot of things out there, a lot of information that you send out throughout the community. Let me ask you this. Your family is very structured. You have the education in your family. How do you feel about portions of the community throughout the city that may not have that structure, that family structure? With your background and your enjoyment with the team and the sports and the things like that, how do you see kids in poor communities, African-American communities, that don't have the structure at home, but still need something to do? And we see this in Pittsburgh, especially we hear this in our communities all the time. There's nothing for our kids to do. If Mark Rauterkus was in city council, or if you were controller and you had finances to be able to work with, what could you do to help communities like that?
One of the things I talk about often is a youth technology summit. Every year we should use the convention center and focus on technology. You know, the kids are wired. You know, they're using the iPods. They're, you know, some of them, you know, they're using the internet. You know, and it's where the future is, and it's where a lot of jobs are. And the people that are working at the church groups or working with coaches or working with music, you know, there's not a lot of. They need to use it too. So, I would love to have a 3 or 4 day summit every year that we could launch that would really talk about technology, and it would get involved businesses, and it would get involved the college and university settings, it would get involved the schools, and there's be some competitions, and we get the big industry, from the high tech fields and the internet service providers and stuff, so that's one thing. And then I think from there we have neighborhood groups. So I'm a tech guy in a way, and I think that's a good way to learn and to read online. And we need to make that affordable and available and accessible to everybody. So citywide Wi-Fi and some of those types of things would be important. And then you get into the arts, you get into the music, you get into the sports. Your special interest, we should be able to make you literate in. And as we do this, we're going to be teaching literacy, and we're going to be teaching about science and math as we go. But it's got to be fun. It's got to be new and fresh for the kids. So that's one just little project that I would definitely like to do as far as youth technology.
Do you think the city is contributing enough finances to the Pittsburgh public schools for that type of thing that you're looking for?
Oh, yeah, that type of thing could pull its own weight. And that's sort of one of my platforms. It would be an event that would make money for the city. And we could do it well and have, a big festival, and instead of, talking about spectator sports, we'd be talking about real participation and cutting edge things that we're creating.
Are we talking about all kids or just a portion?
Yeah,
in Pittsburgh, we see so many portioned things where I like it left out. What are we talking about with? I think it sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, I think the digital divide is, we got to cross that. And, we need to empower all the people and all the kids about how to challenge themselves, how to be literate, how to be smart in a modern world. So we have to include everybody. And I think there are businesses that would get involved if they know, hey, there's a certain little package or program that we could help with in a certain way. I helped or tried to get the Pittsburgh Interfaith Impact Group, the interfaith groups, to put small computer labs inside all the rec centers.
Who is that? Pittsburgh?
Well, we had a youth task force. This was some years ago, and we talked about it on the web, and we went and researched, how can we make a significant improvement to the kids' lives? And, hey, let's give them some literacy and technology together. And we went to the mayor when Mayor Murphy was here and said, listen, we've got these computers donated. We've got these volunteers ready to help. There's, at the time, I think there was 16 or so rec centers that had space for computer labs. Okay. And so let us put 4 computers in all these computer labs, and we'll do some after-school activities or make it available for homework and teach parents about the dashboard and stuff like that. And we were told no. The city didn't want to do that. So
any reason why?
Well, yeah, we found out 6 months later they wanted to play a game of chicken with the politics, and the pawns were the kids, and they closed all the rec centers. And Mayor Murphy said no swim pools next summer. So then we had to backtrack. But what I was trying to do is engage more citizen participation in these facilities and into the lives of the kids. And we've never really got off of first base on that. We need to get parent involvement and community involvement and make this accessible.
Like everywhere else.
Yeah. And I think, first, technology is important. and that isn't going to work for everybody. Yeah, I think sports is involved. It's important. That's in schools, of course. I have a couple philosophies about Pittsburgh public schools. When you're young, in the elementary grades, K, 1, 2, 3, our schools in Pittsburgh are good. They're very good. Mm-hmm. Some are probably better than others, but when the kid, though, becomes in the middle school, age 5, grades 5 and 6, mm-hmm. and if a family can, that's generally when they leave the city. They pack up their belongings, they go to a suburban setting. I don't know if it's South Park or Woodland Hills or whatever. They leave because the middle school situations get a little more dangerous for the kids. There's a little bit of more, there's more bullying. The learning isn't quite as rigorous as it needs to. And then in the high schools, some of the high schools work, but by and large, our Pittsburgh public high schools need a lot of attention. And so I was hoping to see a lot more occur with this high school reform. And that's one of the other jobs, as controller. You're the watchdog of the finances for the city as it relates to the public schools. It's definitely a school board driven, a superintendent driven school district, but there's this person over here in the city on downtown that has a duty to watch the performance and be able to audit schools. And often what we do is get in a conversation just about money. How much does that school rehab cost? But we're not talking about the performance of the kids in the classroom or in language education or in the gifted education or attendance. So I think there are a lot of things that the schools need to be monitored on that aren't dollars.
Well, let's talk about that when we come back.
Sure.
Mark, when we come back, I want to ask you just about that, the Pittsburgh public school system. Many feel that it is a entity within itself, that it can't be governed because they make their own rules, they do their own thing. So as controller, let's talk on that end.
Sure.
How do you feel you can possibly get in there and make a difference, okay? We'll be back right after this.
I feel the current raging around me. Try to summon up my strength once more. I am weary on this journey, afraid I will not reach that distant shore. I cry for help, feel like I'm sinking. There is no one near me I can see, but there you are in the water with me. Take my hand and guide me graciously. Will you come with me on this journey? With every breath we take, keep reaching for the dawn. I know alone that I will falter, but with a good friend near me, I will carry on. There is a kindness in your smile and a gentleness within your speech. You reassure me, your love surrounds me, and I know safety is at last within my reach. Will you come with me on this journey? With every breath we take, keep reaching for the dawn. I know alone that I will falter, but with a good friend near me, I will carry on. It's an illusion we carry with us as we wade on through the waters of our lives. We must be strong and hold our own here, but a helping hand will save us by and by. Will you come with me on this journey? With every breath we take, keep reaching for the